بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله سبحانه وتعالى فلا مضل له ومن يضلله فلا هادي له نشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن سيدنا ونبينا وحبيبنا وشفيعنا وكريمنا وسندنا وأولانا ومولانا وهادينا وطبيب قلوبنا وقرة أعيننا محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله تبارك وتعالى عليه وعلى آله وأصحابه وأزواجه وذرياته وأهل بيته أجمعين أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام नज़ीर भाई खैर माशाअल्लाह, मस्जिद भी बहुत खूबसूरत बना दी, वैसे भी खूबसूरत ही थी, दुल्हन सजा दी माशाअल्लाह, अल्लाह ताला आबाद रखे. कारी तैयब साहब रहमतुल्लाह फरमाते थे कि बाकी मस्जिद तो अल्लाह के घर है, गुजरातियों की मस्जिद अल्लाह की कोठी है. माशाअल्लाह, खूबसूरत ही होनी चाहिए मस्जिद, और मस्जिद की असल खूबसूरती मस्जिद की आबादी है. समर की छुट्टियां चल रही है. आई वॉज टोल्ड टू डू द बयान इन इंग्लिश बिकॉज इट्स अ समर हॉलीडेज. But the ground report at almost 1:05 on a Friday during the summer holidays is that there is only, I think, one brother in front of me who does not understand Urdu, and there are 0 youngsters. One walked in, I don't know if you can term him as a youngster. How old are you? 20s. So sisters, if you are listening at home, अगर आपका मुन्ना घर पे है उसको मस्जिद में भेज दो, अंग्रेजी में बात होगी इंशाल्लाह. Youngsters who are at home, if you're listening by chance, then come to the masjid inshallah. After about 10 minutes, I'll switch to English. I have to honor the elders who are sitting here, and although they do understand English, they prefer Urdu, so I will speak in Urdu for about 10 minutes. And those of you who don't understand Urdu, bear with me. And inshallah, by that time, in 10 minutes time, more youngsters will be here, inshallah. Dua karo, Allah karam kare. Then the khutbah in the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam always used to be in Arabic. That's a sunnat. And in Zohar namaz we have 4 rakats, 4 farz. For Jummah we have 2 rakats farz. In those 2 rakats or 4 rakats, it's haram to speak, your namaz breaks. It's haram to eat, and so on. In Jummah, we have 2 rakats farz, but we have 2 khutbahs. Those 2 khutbahs are a replacement for the other 2 in Zohar, which is why, मैं अंग्रेजी में बात कर रहा हूँ, या अल्लाह. इसलिए कहा गया कि खुतबे के दौरान बातें करना मना है. किसी को सलाम करना मना है, किसी के सलाम का जवाब देना मना है. तो खुतबा तो अरबी ही में होना चाहिए. इमाम के अलावा कोई और बात नहीं कर सकता. फिर हमारे बुजुर्गों ने देखा कि खुतबा तो अरबी में है, और माशाल्लाह यंगस्टर्स वॉक्ड इन, अल्लाह ताला ब्लेस हिम. और हमारा मजमा तो अजमी है. ज़बान यार मन तुर्की वमन तुर्की नमीदानम, वो तो समझते ही नहीं. So the khutbah will be in Arabic, but the majma does not understand. Therefore our elders devised a plan. They said before the khutbah we will have the bayan in Urdu or in whichever language of the indigenous people, so they will understand. So this is why we have a bayan before Jummah. But unfortunately, and it's a weekly bayan, it's an update for everyone, the concerns of the alim, of the imam, passing on to the congregation. Unfortunately, though, in our masjids, and I'm guilty of this as well, I will walk in just before the khutbah. So the bayan is missed. So the bayan of Friday is very, very important. This is why we have a short bayan before the khutbah. In some countries, what they've done now, to accommodate the congregation, they have the khutbah in English. Even then, people come at the end of the khutbah. Allah have mercy on us. So this is why it's important, Jummah bayan, that this is our refueling, our petrol. ये हमारा पेट्रोल है. कि दीन की बात जितना हम सुनेंगे हमारा ईमान बढ़ता रहेगा। एक दफ़ा हमारी मस्जिद में मकामी गश्त हो रहा था। तो मकामी गश्त में ये होता है कि कुछ साथी मुलाकात के लिए जाते हैं और कुछ साथी, एक साथी अल्लाह की बड़ाई की बातें करता है और कुछ साथी वहाँ बैठते हैं, एक दो साथी ज़िक्र में होते हैं और एक दो साथी इस्तक़बाल में होते हैं। तो ये मंज़र था, गश्त हो रहा था, कुछ साथी इस्तक़बाल में थे। इतने में एक मकामी साथी आया, तो इस्तक़बाल वाले इनको मिले और कहा कि बात हो रही है, इसमें तशरीफ़ रखे। उसने कहा ना नहीं नहीं, मुझे उसकी ज़रूरत नहीं है, मैं तो कुरान पढ़ने के लिए आया। तो कुरान पढ़ने बैठ गया। मैंने बाद में कहा कि कुरान पढ़ना बेशक बहुत बड़ा अमल है, लेकिन तू अगर इन बातों में नहीं बैठेगा तो तेरा कुरान जो है ना, तेरे कुरान की तिलावत धीरे धीरे रफ्ता रफ्ता उसका शौक़ ख़त्म होता चला जाएगा। फिर मिसाल दी, जैसे किसी के पास बहुत बढ़िया गाड़ी है, बुगाटी है, आस्टन मार्टिन है, बहुत अच्छी गाड़ी है, बहुत स्पीड से जाती है, ब्रेक डाउन नहीं होती, लेकिन पेट्रोल अगर नहीं भरा तो वो गाड़ी बेकार है, डब्बा है, इट्स जस्ट अ मेटल बॉक्स, यू नीड पेट्रोल। So this is why it's very important regularly we sit. This is why we have talim in our masjid every day. We have our weekly gasht and one sati delivers a talk. This is why we have Jummah bayan and so on. This is our petrol, ruhani petrol, our imani petrol. If we are receiving this, we're filling ourselves up, what will happen? We might think it's not doing anything, but inside it's rejuvenating our iman. हमारे ईमान को जिंदा रखने वाली ये बातें हैं। सहाबा किराम के अंदर ये माहौल था, पहले हमारे बुजुर्गों में ये माहौल था, है ना। मैंने एक जगह पे कहा कि वो खंसा रज़ी अल्लाह तआला वाला वाक़या पढ़ा गया तालीम में। मशहूर वाक़या आप हज़रत जानते हैं कि खंसा रज़ी अल्लाह तआला अन्हा ने एक जंग के मौके पे अपने बेटों को जमा किया, 4 बेटों को, उनको तरगीब दी और तरगीब में ये कहा कि तुम एक ही माँ के बेटे हो, मैंने ख़ियानत नहीं की। और अपने उनके वालिद की तारीफ़ की और उनके चचा की तारीफ़ की। उनको इट्स लाइक सेल्फ आइडेंटिटी, प्राइड इन योर सेल्फ आइडेंटिटी, दिस इज़ हु यू आर। फिर उनको उभारा कि जाओ अपनी जान पेश करो अल्लाह के रास्ते में, यहाँ तक के चारों शहीद हो गए। उस वाक़े को पढ़ने के बाद मैंने कहा कि ये चीज़ जो है ना, ये सुन्नत खंसा रज़ी अल्लाह तआला अन्हा की, ये हमारे माशरे में, हमारे इंग्लैंड के एशियन, इंडियन, पाकिस्तानी, बांग्लादेशी माशरे में ये चीज़ थी, आज नहीं है। मुझे याद है एक ईद के मौके पे मेरा भाई चाहता था, ईद पे नए कपड़े पहनते थे ना, तो मेरा भाई चाहता था कि जीन्स पहनना है मुझे। तो मेरी वालिदा ने सख्ती से मना किया, अल्लाह ताला इनको गरीक रहमत करे, सख्ती से मना किया। तारा मोटा बाहू के है, तारा मोटा बाहू के है। मोटा बा भी पहुंच गए अल्लाह की रहमत में, अल्लाह ताला इनकी भी मग़फ़िरत फरमाए। यानी यू कांट, दैट्स नॉट व्हाट वी डू, वी डोंट रोल लाइक दैट, वी नॉट लाइक दैट। हम लोग जीन्स नहीं पहनते तारा। और मेरे वालिद साहब अल्लाह उनकी जज़ा खैर दे, उस वक्त अल्लाह के रास्ते में थे, लेकिन वालिदा ने कहा कि भाई नहीं नहीं नहीं, हम इस तरह के काम नहीं करते। तो पहले ये माहौल था हमारे यहाँ बोल्टन ही में कि एक दूसरे को वालिदैन बच्चों को याद दिलाते थे कि देखो हम किसी से अच्छे नहीं है, वी नॉट बेटर देन एनीवन, लेकिन हमारे ख़ानदान की कुछ रिवायतें हैं। मुझे याद है अच्छी तरह, मेरी वालिदा मेरे फुआ, मेरे वालिद साहब की बहन के हस्बैंड मेरे फुआ की तारीफ़ करते थे। अब सोचने की बात यह है कि आमतौर पे माँ अगर किसी की तारीफ़ करती है, अपने बाप की, माँ की, अपने भाइयों की, बहन की तारीफ़ करती है, what business does she have of praising her brother-in-law? और बहुत से मौके पे झूठी तारीफ़ करती है और बुराई करती है वालिद साहब की फैमिली की, तेरा चाचा ऐसा, तेरा फुआ ऐसा था। लेकिन मैंने ये 20 दफ़ा वालिदा मरहुमा से सुना, वो कहा करती थी कि तारा फुआजी से ना, तारी फुआजीनी મને લાગે કે તારા ફુઆજીની કોઈ દરો નમાઝ કઝા નહીં થયેલી મળે જેથી બાલિગ થયા। मेरे फुआ अल्लाह ताला उनको जन्नत नसीब करे। तो ये बात सुनते हुए हम बड़े हुए, तो इट गिव्स अ सेंस ऑफ आइडेंटिटी कि देखो हमारे ख़ानदान में ऐसे लोग हैं। और भी लोगों की तारीफ़ कर, तेरे वालिद की ये तारीफ़, चचा ऐसे है, तो इस तरह there was an identity. You felt, okay, we don't do things like that. आज आमतौर पे ये होता है ना, you tell your kids not to do something, बच्चे क्या कहते हैं? They're doing it. वो आपा की फैमिली कर रही है, वो मौली साहब की फैमिली कर रही है, तो हम खामोश हो जाते हैं. लेकिन अगर पहले से ये इंप्रेशन बिल्ड किया है हमने कि देखो हमारा खानदान है, तेरे दादा बहुत नेक थे, तेरे परनाना बहुत नेक थे, वो आलिम थे, फुना काम किया था, बहुत जिक्र करते थे, तो फिर उनको एक आइडेंटिटी होती कि वो डिफरेंट. हम यहाँ तक जो पहुंचे हैं, we've got here because of those holy people, because of our nani and our dadi and our dada. There was a sense of identity. आज ये चीज है नहीं. You tell somebody nowadays, a kid, oh, your dada, you know, your granddad, he was such a safe guy. I used to go Jama with him. Do you know he used to go Jama? No. What are you talking about? You should take youngsters Jamaat every month. You should take 20 youngsters with him. I don't know. Then I said to the kid, I go, that's not your fault. That's your mom and your dad's fault. पता ही नहीं. I was teaching in a madrasa, and there were 2 kids there, and their granddad was a qari sahib and an imam in a masjid, and his praying was very special because he was a man of Allah. आवाज में बड़ी कशिश थी. So I met a chacha friend of mine. He said कि मौलवी साहब, in the 80s, when the rosas were really long, we used to go, he was from Blackburn, he's from Blackburn. He said that we used to work in the factory. After that, we used to jump in a car, we used to do iftar on just water, khajur. We used to jump in a car, we used to drive all the way to Bolton and to pray Tarawih behind that Qari Sahib. Right? And then afterwards, we'd sit with that Qari Sahib. उस कारी साहब के साथ बैठते थे. तो एक दिन वो हाजी साहब कारी साहब से कहने लगी, कारी साहब તમારો શું અમલ છે કે અમે ઇફતાર છોડીને ભજીયો સમોસા છોડીને અહીંયા આવીએ જ. हम इफ्तार छोड़ के अपने दस्तरखान को छोड़ के we come all the way. There's plenty of qaris and masjids and tarawihs going on in Blackburn. What is it that pulls us here? And then we go back so late and we go and we have our sahri and then have a bit of sleep and back to work. What is it that is making us do this? So Qari Sahib just smiled. Then on another occasion, Qari Sahib, they were asking him, about his student days. Qari Sahib says that, me, I was so poor, I didn't have money for tea leaves. Chai ke patte ke paise nahi the. Doodh ke paise nahi the. So he said, in my dormitory, the other boys, they had a bit of money, they used to make tea. After they had their tea, I used to say to them, don't wash the saucepan, I will wash it. Wo jab chale jate the, when they would all go, he said, I would take that thing, I'd put water in it, and then I'd cook it, and whatever I could get out of it, that would be my tea. If he stayed at home, he could have had good tea. So now my friend, the chacha from Blackburn, he said to Qari Sahib, aapne chai qurban ki, Quran ke khatir. इसका नतीजा ये है इतने सालों बाद हम इफ्तार कुर्बान कर रहे हैं आपके कुरान के खातिर. You gave up your tea, you left your home in your venture for the Quran, and you became such a good hafiz and such a good reciter. Because of that sacrifice, it's falling on our hearts now that we are giving up our Tarawih, traveling 20 odd miles to come pray Quran behind. So this chacha, he told me this story. So then I asked, who's that Qari Sahib? So he told me. So I said, I know him. His grandsons are in my class. So one day then I told the grandsons, they're like, I said, go and tell your mom and your dad, okay, this is our dada, marhum, Allah Jannat Nasib kare, okay, he made a sacrifice. So now those kids, वो पढ़ने में ऐसे ही थे एक तो, लेकिन उसके बाद जरा, they started coming into their own. Just a few words, identity. उसकी वजह से उसको पढ़ने का शौक हो गया. वो कुछ शौक से पढ़ने लगा, सबक याद करने लगा. क्यों? इसलिए कि उसको पता है कि भाई मेरे दादा का I'm a descendant of my dada, and he was a superstar. So alhamdulillah, everyone sitting here, जितने आप हज़रात जितने भी यहाँ बैठे हैं, माशाल्लाह, आप खुद ही और आपके खानदान में भी ऐसे हजरात है, मर्द है, औरतें हैं जो मरहूम हो गए, अल्लाह ताला इनकी मग़फ़िरत फरमाए, दर्जात बुलंद फरमाए, इनके कारनामे हैं दीनी मैदान में. But our new generation don't know. So we have to tell them, even if they're on the other side, even if they're like from your wife's side, bite the bullet, कलेजा पे पत्थर रखो, उनकी तारीफ कर दो. Yes? Even if they're not from your side of the family. Yeah? Otherwise what happens is, a kid went to his father, he went to his mother and he said, Mom, where did we come from? So she goes that, before in the world there were monkeys and evolution took place and they changed into bigger monkeys and then they changed into chimpanzees and then they changed into apes and we evolved from them. हम तो बंदर से बनाए जाते हैं हुजूर, हम तो इंसान से बनाए जाते हैं बंदर ए हुजूर. आप खुश किस्मत है जो बंदर से इंसान हो गए. हम तो इंसान से बनाए जाते हैं बंदर ए हुजूर. अकबर इलाहाबादी मरहूम ने कहा था जब अंग्रेज कह रहे थे ना कि इवोल्यूशन, वी इवॉल्व फ्रॉम एप्स, तो अकबर इलाहाबादी ने जवाब दिया, हम तो इंसान से बनाए जाते हैं बंदर ए हुजूर. वे ह्यूमंस वे बीइंग मेड इनटू मंकीज बाय पीपल, एक्सप्लॉइटेड. आप खुश किस्मत है जो बंदर से इंसान बन गए. You're lucky you went the other way, you were a monkey and now you become a insan. We're being exploited. Anyway, so she said this, that we were apes, we evolved from apes. So the son, he tried to make sense of it, he couldn't make sense of it. Then he went to his dad and he said, Dad, where did we come from? So a long time ago, your great-great-grandfather, he migrated to this country and then he met your grandma and this and that and then your grandparents and this. He said the whole lineage thing. And you're a descendant of them. So he goes, but Mom said that we evolved from apes. So the father said, yeah, she was talking about her side of the family. वो अपने खानदान की बात कर रही थी, वो बंदर और हम तो इंसान से बने. तो this is a very important point. ये नुक्ता जो है ना, it's very small, but it's a big thing, makes a big difference. Therefore, talk to your kids about who we are, who you are. That's not to say that we're better than the other families. Yeah, we're not. No one's better than anyone. Inna akramakum indallahi atqakum. The most pious is the best. But otherwise, we're not better than anyone. But we have an identity. We haven't just got here like this. And the other thing is, this is in dini perspective. The other thing is, dunya ke e'tibar se bhi samjhao. Yes, if the dada, the nana is still alive, the nani, the daddy is still alive, bachcho ko kaho, tell the kids to go listen to their stories. With what sacrifices they made their wealth in this country. With what sacrifices masjids were erected. ये मस्जिदें जो बनी, औरतें ने अपने सोने के हार दे दिए. A woman had come from India, Pakistan. I'm talking about your grandma here, or maybe your mother or your great grandma. She came from India, Pakistan, Bangladesh at the age of 17. She came to this country. Why? Because her husband came, or because she was sent here and they got married here. Right? And the only thing she's got linking her to her parents now. Imagine, 17-year-old. What's a 17-year-old? Nowadays, look at a 17-year-old nowadays. You take them in Jamaat, they say, right lads, we're moving to the next masjid. I want you to hoover this room. Can you do that? Yeah. Are you sure? Yeah. Okay. 5 minutes later they come. Not working. What? Who not working? Have you plugged it in? So I'm not stupid. Okay. I'm not making a judgment. I'm just saying. You go. He said, have you switched it on? Yeah, I'm not stupid. You go. Plug in किया है. वो hoover की switch दबा रहा है. But the switch on the plug is off. Right? Brother, you have to turn this on. Nobody told me. It's my mom's fault. My dad's fault. It's your fault. Okay, right, listen. Turn that switch on, turn this switch on. Boom, it's working, yeah? Okay. 5 minutes. Hoover it all. Come back after 5 minutes. Is it done? No. Why not? He's not bending down. Just upright. We tried, we almost broke it. Have you pressed the switch? Yeah, it just keeps going boom. We hit the switch, it goes off. Hit the switch, it comes on. No, the other switch. We don't do switch. Then you go and show him, look, this foot pedal. He presses, oh, it goes into ruku. Now you can do hoover. Oh, okay. Nobody told me, your fault. Right? 17-year-old, no disrespect to the so just be a humor. Yeah? 17-year-old, imagine. And your grandma, she came, or your mother, or your great-grandma came to this country, and the only thing connecting her to her parents now was this jewelry that she had been given on the day of her marriage by her mother, by her father. Right? Sentimental value. And she couldn't go back to meet her parents. So many of your parents, your grandparents, they came, they went back. You ask these elders, they'll say, oh, first time I went back was after 12 years. It wasn't like now, 3 holidays every year, chalo maja karo. On the way back from Umrah, let's wash all the noor away, let's go to Dubai. Aisa thoda tha. Right? And there was no voice call. In fact, there was no calls. You couldn't pick up the telephone and just call them, Assalamu alaikum, mom, how you doing? Whoa, they had those payphones. And if you wanted to ring somewhere, you put a 10 pence inside and you put another 10 pence on top in the cradle. And you had your thumb on it. For when it goes toot, 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 you had to put it in before it cut off. If you were to phone India, Pakistan, Bangladesh from there, it just went, you couldn't do it. I need to have that much money. So they did not hear their mother's, father's voices for years. Some of them, they never got to go back and see their parents because their parents died in the meantime. Their grandparents passed away. Some went back after 10 years, 15 years. The only connection they had was the sentimental value of the jewelry, and they used to write a letter, aerogram, याद है? Aerogram वो fold होता था. मैं कुछ साल पहले गया था, मेरे उस्ताद को खत लिखना था, मैंने पोस्ट ऑफिस में जाकर aerogram चाहिए, वो सर खुजा रहा है, what's that? दूसरे में गया, I don't know, let me look, कैटलॉग में देख रहा है, because we'll have to order them, right? वो fold करके भेजते थे ना. Even though we didn't have enough money to send them every week, and then we sent it, and then months, then when the khalas would come and sit in our house, one khala was talking to my mom, and she'd say, मैंने खत भेजा है, उसका जवाब नहीं आया. These were their worries. पता नहीं कागर पहुंचू के नहीं, I don't know, कई अच्छी खबर है कि नहीं. फिर कई, after so many months, a letter would arrive, and they'd be so happy, and they'd read it over 10 times, and they keep it close. They still got it in their khazana. Yes? Now this is their position. And yet those women, when Zakaria Masjid, when we didn't have all these other masjids, when Zakaria Masjid was being built, when Darul was being built, and the Alan was done, Allah ke ghar ke liye paise do, Allah ke ghar ke liye chanda do, give for the sake of Allah. Those women, they gave that jewelry, which the monetary value of that is another thing, that it was very expensive. But more than that, the sentimental value of that jewelry, it was the only connection they had with their parents, and yet women gave that jewelry. Men who work in factories, so many of my ustads used to come from the factory into Zakaria Masjid, teachers put up with all our magazmari and our dangcharas and butterers, and then they, after madrasa, they'd go back into the factory. हमने अपने आंखों से देखा. And they worked so hard. And then they were supporting their own family, and they were supporting another family or another 2 families back home, and at the same time they were donating to the masjids and madrasas. This is how all this came about. We don't have value for money anymore. And it's not the fault of the youngsters only. The parents need to instill. I give you that riwayat of Khansar radiallahu from Fazail Amal. This is why they say Fazail Amal ki talim takes place in our masjid every day. Sit in the talim and concentrate, and you'll get so many lessons. The story of Khansar radiallahu anhu, this whole thing that I've said came from that story. The lesson that I gained from the story of Khansar radiallahu anhu. Another story. very, just in one sentence, it said in Fazal Amal that one of the wives of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was asked that what was the best food in your house for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And she said that once there was a butter tin, tel ka dabba, and I turned it upside down on a roti to get the remnants, right, of the tail, of the ghee. And then I spread it and gave it to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam to eat. What is that? Ghee wali rotli, isn't it? Ghee wali roti, jo hum khate hain. Oh, we used to eat sugar dal ke, roll it up. Mom, we'd come in from a game of football. Mom, I want to eat. Behija, khai le. No, I'm in a hurry. Le, ghee wali, go. That was our burger. No wonder we got diabetes. That was our burger. Rasulullah, it says in the kitab, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam ate it with great relish. Maze le lekar khaya. And he gave it to other people. He was astonished. He was giving other people pieces of it. He said, here, try this, it's really good. Right? Now we go in Jamaat, or I go in my back street on bin day, and if I open a bin in our areas, वो रेड बीन होती है ना, उसको खोल के देखो, आपको मिलेगा, बोतलें मिलेगी उसमें इतना टमाटो केचप है, इतना हेलमंस मेयोनेज है, और फेंक दिए. हमारे वो ग्रीन बिन होती है ना, ग्रीन बिन, उसको क्या कहते हैं? फूड बिन. अल्लाह अकबर, फूड बिन. That's an oxymoron. Food और bin, the two separate things, they don't go together. और they कहते कोई बात नहीं, बचा है डाल दो उसमें फूड बिन में. मैंने कहा फूड बिन कोई चीज ही नहीं है इस्लाम में. फूड तो पेट के लिए है. मैं तो घर में कहता हूं कि खबरदार उसके अंदर, the only thing that should be in there is potato peel and stuff like that. There should be no food in there. Sometimes I go and check. I try to pick up the green bins with one finger. I can't do it. I open it, there's masala, dar, biryani, salan, upar tak bhara hua. And my one, alhamdulillah, I can pick it up. Some days when they drop their guard, the women in the house, and when mine gets heavy, then they have hell to pay for it. Yeah, I had to go tell them off. Kya kar rahe? Kam pakao. There shouldn't be any waste. It's haram. So when we go in Jamaat, we do what our elders taught us. Tomato ketchup, passing it around. Come on, oh, it's finished. It's not finished. Listen, pass it here. Open it, put some water in it. Shake it. Turn it upside down, take it out. All the youngsters, that's disgusting. Yeah, that's disgusting. I said, this is what we learned from our elders. When the cream dabba is empty, even now some of the elders we go in Jamaat with, bade budhe wo kya karte, mujhe de do. Then they take the foil of it and they put the tea in there and they drink it. And the youngsters go, that's so conjured, so tight. No, it's not. Then I remind them of the story of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. What did he do? He did the exact same thing. Why? Because that ghee in that box is a ni'mat of Allah. You can't waste it. And if you waste, then the barakat will go away. Save the pennies, the pounds will take care of themselves. English proverb. You can't even a few grains of rice, you can't let it go to waste. There's people in the world dying, screaming out for that much. And yet we are wasting left, right and center. In our days we used to go in the street and there used to be a carton of chips and mushy peas on the floor, or somebody left it on the wall. We used to say, astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah. If it was on the floor, we'd pick it up, anaj. And we knew that an English guy has passed from here. A Muslim would never do that. Now look in our streets. ये डीन रोड पे माशाल्लाह बहुत कड़ी हाउसेज और टेक अवे और वो वगैरह है, आपको मिलेगा half a Oreo milkshake. That's £3. Yes, and spilt. मजे से उड़ा दिया और डाल दिया. Because it's fashionable to drink a little bit and leave the rest. Show people that you don't need it. And what did Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam say? When the dastaqan was being lifted up, his dua was غَيْرَ مَكْفِيهٍ وَلَا مُوَدَّعٍ وَلَا مُسْتَغْنًا عَنْهُ رَبَّنَا. He used to be remorseful, nadamat ke saath. कहते थे उठाओ. But he used to make dua to Allah. Oh Allah, we're not rejecting your dawat. हम मुंह नहीं फेर रहे थे नेमतों से. कहीं ऐसा ना हो अल्लाह का अज़ाब आ जाए. ये अल्लाह हम ये काफी हो गया हमारे लिए, इसलिए हम कह रहे कि उठाओ. ये नहीं कि हम उसको ठुकरा रहे हैं. We're not sharing the nemat. And look at what we are doing now, brothers. Anyway, I don't know how I got into that, but that's another thing that we need to remind our children about, that all of this that came about with great sacrifices. And in order to continue this, we will also have to make sacrifices, and we will have to come back onto the teachings of our deen, the teachings of our elders. Even culture, people say, oh, it's culture, shun it. No, in culture there are bad things, yeah, shun that. But even in your culture there's good things, like this thing that I said about Khansa radiallahu ta'ala anha, reminding her children who they are. In the same way, in our culture this existed, that we used to remind our children of our identity. So do that. Allah ta'ala give me and all of us a tawfiq, forgive me for overrunning. Subhanallah wa bihamdihi.